each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
It's Wednesday. Hump day. There's always that one person in the office. Do you know what day it is? You know what day it is? It's hump day. You know. Wednesday just means I have a extra meeting to run. That's what Wednesday means to me. But Wednesday is not any different from Friday or Saturday. Nope. Doesn't really. The only thing that really changes is whether football's on or not. They're talking about getting rid of Thursday night football. I think it's actually a good idea. We seem to have a lot of players seem to get hurt when we have that short time. I don't like players getting hurt. It's not why I watch it. I don't like when anybody gets hurt. Now, I might wish they're out for like let's say we tackle Mahomes and his ankle hurts a little bit. I hope he's out for the game, but not the season. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hey, Bren, good to see you. Brent says, hello, Dion. Hope you and your family have a truly blessed holiday. I hope you do too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's because I'm making the decision to go ahead and just let it be a good one. Holidays aren't always easy for me. Brings up triggers, but the more I say that, the more it's probably going to happen. So I got to be careful what I say, right? Now, this camera is not doing my hair justice. It actually looks pretty good today, but the camera makes it just look like I'm going bald. So, and even if I was, I'd tell you now I wouldn't care. I'd just shave it all off. I'd bick it. I would bick the head is what I would do, but no. My mom's father had a full head of hair. So, but mostly you can see how I sleep. You can tell that I put my thumb right there. I sleep like this sometimes. Oh my word, I'm sleeping. All right. Where's my phone? Where's my car, dude? Never saw the movie. Yeah, I just no interest. Right. So let's get to it. You know what time it is. Ooh, AI overview gave me some jokes this time. So we're just going to use these 4 jokes. Now, I heard a joke yesterday. I'm going to tell one of my own jokes today. You know what's red? You know it's red and will ruin your teeth? A brick. Because it's just so stupidly obvious. All right. Let's get to some of these other jokes. I think I actually told that yesterday, but when I get it stuck on a joke, I tend to be on repeat. All right. So why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? Because it was too tired. It was too. Some of these are play on words, so I feel like I need to explain them, but I don't think that I do. What the hell are you doing there? It's trying to add people on. No. Urgh. When I go to hover over the laugh track here, it's bringing up something else. It's bringing up where I let other people in, and it's not supposed to do that. All right. Anyway, doesn't matter. I can work around that, even though it shouldn't be doing that. All right. What do you call a cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese. It is not your cheese, nacho cheese. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Or they make everything. Right? What's brown and sticky? God, go away. A stick. All right, we're done with jokes. Done with jokes. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. Today, foreseeable future stuff. And stuff. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm not sure what you're going to get out of me. I'm not the person that was sitting here yesterday. Sometimes change is slow. Sometimes change happens slowly, and sometimes change happens quickly. It doesn't seem to happen to me as often, but I call it the 2x4 effect, where I just feel like I've been slapped upside the head with a 2x4 and I'm a different person. I'm not the person that I was yesterday. I can feel it. There's something different. I've been confronting a lot of things. I've been finding a lot more courage, which I try to display often. I try and display courage because I want you to see that it's okay to go through these things. Right? I'm sitting here thinking about some things in my life. Am I required to forgive? Only to the point where it affects me. Does that make sense? Because there are some people that have been in my life that I can't seem to find forgiveness for. I'm trying. I'm willing. And maybe that in and of itself needs to be good enough. Right? You got to give yourself permission to heal. You got to give yourself permission to move on. It's hard to do. It's not, it's not easy, you know. So with that, you know, we alcoholics are beset by loneliness. Never met an alcoholic who is drinking, who never met an alcoholic who was drinking that, followed through on that. Amber, good morning. Good to see you. All right. So, we are beset by loneliness. We tend to know loneliness such as few do. All right. We can't even describe our loneliness. It gets so bad. And at least in my life, pretty much everybody left. Now, I'm not saying people haven't come back into my life. Some have. I have my wife who didn't really leave. My kids came back. A little bit of my family. Just enough. Just enough. Right. I have a wealth of friends. Now, the wealth of friends doesn't mean that I have a bunch of friends. That's not what that means. It means that the friendships that I have are real friendships, that they're solid. Are we ride or die? I don't know. I wouldn't expect my friends to ride or die for me. See? Yep, it's 11:11. Good catch. Woohoo! 11:11 on 11:26. That's why I like going at live at 11 because we catch 11:11. All right. I also tend to go live at 2:22. All right. And what do we all, you hear it all over the place. Of course, they're using it as a advertising, but you know, the opposite of addiction is fellowship. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna read one part out of the big book here. It's from There Is a Solution. And this is where we will tell you that the big book starts. This is where the big book kind of starts when it's the information. Before that, we had Bill's story, which is full of great stuff. We have the forewords, we have the preface, things like that. But I'm telling you that because what's the first word? We. What is the first word of the first step? We. Now, if you're like, okay, no, Dion, that is not the beginning. The beginning is the doctor's opinion. Well, guess what that starts with? What that starts with? It starts with we. You ain't gonna get away from it. The whole program is based off of we. We stick together and we find a new way of life, or we die separately. We weren't given many options when it comes to that. Now you might have fun. I've been hearing a lot of people finding a hard time finding their tribe. Yeah, I get it. I do. I understand. I went through a bunch of meetings. Now during COVID, the meetings were great. They really were. We were doing what was. Now it's just. Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you're gonna find anymore, right? But isn't integrity doing the right thing no matter who's watching, even if nobody's watching? Isn't that what integrity is? All right. All right. Anyway, we're talking about finding our tribe, right? Just like we've had a lot of people come to grassroots that don't come back. Maybe we weren't their cup of tea. Maybe they liked the meeting, but wasn't quite what they were looking for. That's okay. It's okay. Do I want them to stay? Yes. Why? Because I'm selfish. But more importantly, I want them to find what is best for them. That's what I really want. What is that? That's love, right? Just like, okay, one of my sponsees moved away, and I I wasn't hurt, but I was disappointed that they were leaving and we talked about it a little bit. I said, I didn't really get upset. It was convenient because you were right there, and I didn't take advantage of that. So, we turn these into learning things. And because of that conversation, we're a little bit closer. We're going really well, right? So, we of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were once just as hopeless as Bill. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem. I have. Amber has. Brent has. These are the people that are here with me, right? They're recovered alcoholics. I'm a recovered alcoholic. Wouldn't you like to be a recovered alcoholic too? Wouldn't you like to be a drunk too? Right? What does that mean? It does not mean I'm cured. Not what it means. It means I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. That's what recovered is. And I have. And I have solved the drink problem. I don't want to drink. I'm neutral. Okay. But now that I have solved it, I have to maintain it. Solving doesn't mean it's over, that I've graduated. It's not what it means. The solution was consistency of what I'm currently doing. That's the solution. All right. We are average Americans. All sections of this country and many of its occupations are represented, as well as many political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds. Now, we tend to kind of crop together, and it's not, because people are like, oh, there's cliques. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't cliques, because there are. I'm not going to say there aren't mutual admiration societies, because there are, right? I would say listen to your intuition, but every single job, every single gender, every single everything is represented in Colorado, in Alcoholics Anonymous. There is not anything that is not represented in Alcoholics Anonymous. Why do I want to keep saying Colorado? All right. All right, we have men's meetings, we have women's meetings, we have trans meetings, we have all sorts of it. We have meetings just for pilots, meetings just for doctors and nurses. We have AA meetings that help with the service industry. Yes, everything is represented because nobody is going to get kicked out. We are going to welcome you cordially. Yeah, I'm I've had this. I've had one sponsee who is just, I mean, rich. Let's call it extremely wealthy. Yeah. So what? It means nothing in AA. The Skid Row bum and the wealthy person are equals. Yeah. Right? See, I believe in things like recovery equity. That means if you need treatment, I don't care how much money you make, you're going to the same place because you're going to get the same information. My job is to guide you, is to give you all the information that you need so you can make a good decision for yourself. I can't make those decisions for you. I don't want to make those decisions for you. I used to do that before. It was called playing God. I don't want to make decisions for you. I'd love to be a part of it. I'd like to be helpful. And if it's going to be good for you, whether I agree or not, I'm going to support you because you're my friend. Or maybe you're making a mistake and you won't listen to me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait and I'll be there. Isn't that what friendship is? Oh, you guys tell me. Yeah, I tell you right now, you all probably understand friendship better than I do. Right? So, well, everything is represented, all our political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds. Right? Then here comes a great line. We are people who would not normally mix. Well, when you drink alone, not really socializing much anyway, are we? Right? But no, there's still a lot of people like we heard somebody on Saturday say, I am so used to going out on Saturday night. This is one of the first Saturday nights they stayed home, stayed sober, and they enjoyed it. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, because we alcoholics tend to feel like we're missing out on something because we missed out on a lot of things, but really we're not. It's okay to be a Toys R Us kid. It's all right to do that, to be that. Yeah. Thinking about bringing my drum set back out. Think about put it right there. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to take a while to put together, though. All right. But we are people who would not normally mix. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't get along with anybody else in the group. I don't know. I probably would have hung out with Amber. We're a lot alike. So, you know, I don't know. But in AA, get along great. As long as we don't argue in our groups, arguing publicly is or not arguing publicly kind of a cinch, right? So what's going on? What's happening here? What happens that we end up being glued together? It's the loneliness, or now lack of it. All your life you were trying to fit in. You didn't fit in anywhere because you didn't belong there. People didn't understand where you're coming from. They didn't understand your loneliness. They didn't get this. They didn't get that. Or maybe they went out of their way to misunderstand you. And finally, you come into AA, you only have to say something like, I'm feeling very lonely. And every single person in that room knows how you feel. That is what holds us together. Our thought process that we kind of have silly thinking, okay? Because we put the cart before the horse. We've been running through things that other people can't imagine, but yet we're sitting here. We're the kind of people where if you tell us our drinking is going to kill us, we're gonna snub our nose at you. Yeah, death don't scare alcoholics as much as people think. Most of us are welcoming it secretly. We may not say it out loud, but drinking alcohol, if you are an alcoholic and you know that it is hurting you, that is called suicide. That is suicide on the installment plan. It is a form of self-harm. Yes. You're not any different than the person cutting their arms up. It's self-harm. It's just a sneakier way of doing it. All right. Amber says, I think the people in my sober I would have drank with for the most part. Yeah. Everyone else in AA, probably not. But that's just like real life. Not everyone is your cup of tea. That's right. See, drinking or not everybody's. And I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea either. Yeah. All right. I may think I'm a fine Earl Grey, but that doesn't mean that's what other people think. Not everybody likes Earl Grey. All right. Right. It's because we've been together. It is because we have gone through, maybe not at the same time, is because we've gone through a common peril. You ever do anything like what was it called? Outward Bound. When I was in treatment, when I was 16, I went to a thing called Outward Bound. Right. And what you do is you do trust falls. It's all about trust and trusting other people. Right. That's what it's mostly about. Right. And you spend 5 days with these people and you get very, very, very close. I can't even bring up I remember going, but I can't tell you anybody that was there or any of the emotions. But I could go back to my first AA meeting and I remember it. I remember the feeling. I remember some of the faces there. Right. Now let's read this. We are like the passengers of a great liner the moment after rescue from shipwreck, when camaraderie, joyousness, and democracy pervade the vessel from steerage to captain's table. Unlike the feelings of the ship's passenger, however, our joy and escape from disaster does not subside as we go our individual ways. There it is. Why that happens, I'm not totally sure. I think there's a lot more to it that I don't understand, that this finite mind probably doesn't get. But I do know this. It works, it happens. Do I need to question why now? If it is working, do I really need to question why? Are you okay without knowing why? Because some people are not. And that's their right too. Well, maybe you're smarter than me. You know the answer to that. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. All I can really think of is that common bond of almost dying several times. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Here's one. Alcoholics pick an age they're going to die by. What was yours? I'm not asking you if you did it. Notice that. I'm asking you what it was. Because every single one of us do it. Listen how perverse that is. How sickening. That is a soul sickness. All right? It's a challenge. Not a very good one. All right. The feeling of having shared a common peril is one element in the powerful cement which binds us. And don't worry, everybody, we're going to kind of cover trying to look for your tribe, finding your own tribe. Okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that AA is the only way. There's plenty of great programs out there for everybody. But what I'm not going to tolerate is the bashing. No more. Okay? And I could bash AA right now if I wanted to. They sent me another email this morning begging for money again. And I finally wrote them back. I'm like, this is not how we do it. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. The answer is not money, it's 12-step work. That is the solution to this problem. They have enough money. They have enough money. So why are they asking for more? I'm going to tell you, there's parts of me that are like, do we need to start like a subsidized sub AA or AAOG or something so that people are no, why would we need to do that? Why can't I just continue being an AA meeting and follow the book and be a good example? See? Because otherwise it's going to get caught up into who's doing what, who's going to be, then somebody needs to be the leader. We need to put somebody's, see how it's already not feeling right, you know? So, because we got to stick together. If I went and started, then I'd kind of be like everybody else. There's some programs that I'm finding now that I think I'm going to check out. There's one called Came to Believe Recovery. I'm really liking these guys. And you guys know how picky I am. You know how picky I am. So, yeah, I've done my due diligence. Well, Monty Man and Roger, who I hang out with on Monday at Take 12 Radio, they're a part of it. And I kind of want what they have. So I'm going to do what it is that they're doing. All right. The feeling of having shared a common peril is one element in the powerful cement which binds us, but that in itself would never have held us together as we are now joined. Okay. Now I'm going to let you know something. They've been talking about the first 100. That's who they're talking about here. Right? Even in their very beginning, nearly all have recovered. We know thousands of men and women. So we're talking about the first 100 people. Okay. Now, people say that Bill wrote the big book. No. He wrote the outline and it was redlined a lot. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you, Bill, for getting it started. But he was willing to let other people change it and understood that the group vote was more powerful than his own decisions. That's what I appreciated. The fact that 100 alcoholics could agree on something is the miracle of the big book. So, the tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news of this book that carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. All right. All right. So, how are you going to find your tribe? And why? Why is it important that you find your tribe? Number one, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, listen to your intuition. If you get really excited and nothing else is blocking it, probably good. If you feel like the other shoe's about to drop, probably not. If it seems too good to be true, it is. Okay? Recovery is really fucking hard. It is. It is simple and it's tough. Hence why we do it together. It'd be even tougher if I didn't have the people that came before me that made all the mistakes so that I didn't have to make them. Whether I agree with who they were or not, it doesn't matter. Just a little bit ago, I was accused of something in my group. Okay. I did the best that I could, but what I did is I listened. And when it came to the group conscious, I brought it up and I said, okay, now things were presented in anger, but I was listening. And people were able to ask questions. And now I feel much better about it. Other people feel much better about it. And we found a solution that could not have been done without the group. It would have never happened without a group, ever. Right? It needs to be done. So why does it matter? Well, number one, we don't get sober alone. And we humans are wired for connection. Okay. Remember, my wife was gone for about 3 weeks. Did you see how loopy I was starting to get? Because she's part of my human connection. Right? My friends are part of my human connection because I spend a lot of time alone and not out in the world, right? You ever seen that? You ever seen um, that meme of that kid where he's like, "Uh-oh." The mom goes, "What?" And he goes, "People." Now, I don't hate people. It's just it gets overwhelming for me, but I'm getting better at that. I'm getting out more. I mean, I literally run an in-person meeting. Nobody shows up to it really, but but I run it. I go in, I talk to them. I like socializing, but when I have conversations, I like to have deep, thoughtful conversations. That's how I like to spend my time, right? So anyway, so we're wired for connection, and the right people bring out the right version of us. We're listening to a lady who was kind of upset because she was mad at her friend because her friend put a 72-hour hold on her. Okay. But as she was talking, you could see it started to switch. And she would start thinking about it a little bit more. And she came to the realization that that person loves her more than a. Do you know how hard it is to do that to your friend? That you love somebody so much you're willing to risk hatred? That's a true friend. A true friend will put a foot up your ass with love. They're not going to call you names. They're not going to do that stuff. That's controlling. But a friend's going to call you, hey, then this is how I'll be like, I gotta talk to you about something and it's really uncomfortable. You're gonna know that it's uncomfortable. Listen to these people. Okay. Um, you'll find that balance. You'll find it. Good morning, Michelle. It's good to see you. What a tribe really is and what it isn't. Okay, what it is not is a clique. If you don't, and what is a clique? Let's look this up. Let's look it up and really talk about it. Because the AA can be pretty clicky, but so can all the others. And when you create a requirement to be a part of, that is a clique. Definition of clique, right? So let's say you run a men's meeting and a woman shows up and needs a meeting. Okay. If you tell them to leave, you are a clique. If you make the vote, hey, you know what? This person needs a meeting. Are we okay with it? Yeah, we're okay with it. Maybe not the best example, but it's one that came to my head. The act of selecting an option or hyperlink, a short sign switch. To degree, what is the meaning of click? A short sign. No. What is the other meaning of click? To make a cause a short, sharp clicking sound. All right. Not click. It's with a Q, you silly. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and move on. Clearly, Dion's not gonna find that. Okay. Not people. Okay. Not people who enable us. No. And but I'm gonna tell you now, some of these enablers are gonna be the people you love the most. Right? Now, the thing is it can't really be helped. See, my wife had gone to Al-Anon when I was in AA when I was 18 years old. I'd go to AA, she'd go to Al-Anon. Right? She was 16, 17 years old, going to Al-Anon, trying to figure out why her boyfriend worked the way that he did. Right? She would tell me, Dion, I know the sober Dion. I know what the sober Dion does. And I'm going to stick around until that person comes back. But even then, towards the end, I'm pretty sure she was ready to leave. Didn't want to leave, but it was the only other thing that she really had left that she could utilize to make me stop this destructive behavior. That is love. That's true love, right? Not people who co-sign RBS. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That person is wrong. No, a friend is gonna be like, you know what? That sucks. That hurts. I'm sorry that happened. What part did you play in it? Right? What part did you play in it? Takes two to tango. What's going on with you, Dion, that you felt the need to do that? What's going on with you? And there's a way to do it without being a jerk about it. Absolutely. All right. So a friend is not going. So this is what I say about AA. Two things die when you get to A: bullshit and loneliness. A tribe is a group of people that pushes us towards who we're meant to be. So how do you know that you have found your tribe? How you know you feel safe being honest. That's number one. You feel safe being honest, right? Michelle's giving us a definition of clique: a group of people with common in that do not a group of people with common something do not let others join. I'm going to say interests, maybe, right? So you feel safe being honest. You don't have to pretend who you are because you've been accepted for who you are. And be honest with yourself. Don't tell yourself, "Oh, if your intuition is saying no, listen to it. Don't make up excuses for other people so you can be a part of something. This is God trying to tell you something that he doesn't want you there, right? They don't hold you accountable with love. Oh, you just got to be positive. You got to be positive. Or they tell you what to do. Well, you know what you need to do, right? I don't tell my friends what they need to do. Do you know what happens if I tell one of my friends that what they need to do, unsolicited advice? They probably tell me to piss off. Oh, okay. Or they say, "Yeah, okay, Dion." Right now, I'm happy to sit down. What's going on? But the only way you're going to get better is if you make the choice to do it yourself. Without that choice, little to nothing will actually be accomplished. You've got to make the choice, right? When you grow, you're around them. Okay. And here's a good one. You're going to want to show up even on the hard days. You're going to look forward to your meeting. Now, you might not like everybody in the meeting, and that's okay too. Right. Just remember that AA is all inclusive and that everybody is welcome. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I'm going to tell you, in the last month, I have blocked 3 AA members from my phone. They cannot contact me. They are not allowed to contact me. If they show up to grassroots, I will hit the admit button. That's not an arena where I get to make that decision. No. And I won't either. What is that? That's integrity, doing the right thing no matter what. But then I'm not going to go around and say, hey, I let that person in even though I have them blocked on my phone. And tell the people the specifics. Okay? I'm doing a broad thing here. I don't know if it'll happen. It might happen. It's happened in the past, right? So, the power of belonging. Alcoholics isolate. Isolation kills. But on the opposite side of that, connection heals. And we need each other to stay spiritually fit. All right. Now, there's going to be some qualities that most of the people in the group will have in common, or the group itself will have in common: honesty, humor, God centered focused, emotional safety, mutual respect, shared purpose, no judgment, no hierarchy. Yesterday, somebody asked in the meeting, because even newer people come in, they're like, Dion, are you the leader? I'm like, I'm not. I started the meeting, but the whole intention was to let it go. That's what that kind of comes down to. And I started a meeting because I needed my own tribe, and it worked. But it went beyond that. It created a place where other people, whether that's two or three or 100, doesn't matter. That part's up to God. Yeah. So, all right. So look for those things. Okay. How do you know you're in the wrong tribe? You feel drained. Drama, 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 drama. All the time gossip, complaints, negativity. The group itself is not taking accountability, or it is not growing. If everybody that went to grassroots showed up at the same time, we'd have over 50 people. But it's not the way it works. We average about 15 to 20 people a meeting, which people seem to like. It seems to be a good amount. But I don't make that decision. I don't God's the one out there leading people to the meeting. I'm not doing that. But when God gets them there, it's my job to be a good example for them. Right? The biggest difference between our meeting and most other meetings is if you don't have a sponsor, you're going to at least get a phone number or two before you leave. We are not going to force you to ask other people for their phone numbers. We're just going to give it to you because that's the way it says do it in the big book. Right? Now, how to find, show up consistently, be honest, be useful, serve, listen, and be the person you're looking for. All right. Your tribe is a group of people who help you stay sober, stay grounded, and stay true to what God is shaping you to be. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.